Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael MENARD, and I'm a direct sales representative with North American Steel. I've been with the company for over 5 years now, and I've been to hundreds of warehouses across Ontario and Canada here. So I'm hoping I can share some insight with you in terms of the hardware used to put together the racking and some damage information as well. So our racking and racking in general is made to hold a lot of weight. Most times people are putting 5,000-pound pallets on there and stacking multiple levels high, as you can see in that photo to the right of the slide there. So with that said, I mean, having the right hardware is critical to keeping the system together and keeping it anchored to the floor and to keep everything just sturdy and standing and usable. North American Steel uses SAE grade 5 hardware to ensure the bolted connections can be assembled to the correct torque on the first installation. So when we put this stuff together, oftentimes we send in an installation crew that will assemble the racking. And after that, a lot of warehouses I've been to do not have a maintenance program in-house. So it's really important to make sure that everything's tightened correctly the first time and doesn't come loose after that, because the racking's definitely going to move when it's being loaded and offloaded by pallet trucks. So again, everything must be tightened to the correct torque. And then we have a serrated nut. So it looks like this. It has little serrates on it there that will kind of dig into the racking steel a little bit and tighten up, and it'll lock there. So it's not going to come loose from loading and unloading the racking. So where are we? Sorry, guys. So typical hardware will be used. We use the wedge anchors to secure the racking to the concrete slab, nuts and bolts to hold the row spacers together, or the beams and row spacers if you're using structural racking, and safety pins to keep the beams engaged. So this is the wedge anchor that connects the foot plate of the racking to the concrete slab. And so what happens is you drill a hole with a hammer drill and put that in, put the wedge anchor in, and tighten up that nut. And the nut just it pulls that screw up, and this part expands there. So it's getting wedged into the concrete again, just to keep everything tight and in place there for when you're loading and offloading the racking. So North American Steel and our dealer network, we always have this hardware in stock. Typically, we can ship it out within the same week. If you're to call us and say, hey, I need some anchors or pins or row spacer hardware, it's always in stock, and it takes about a week to get out to you there. And as far as components goes, if you're looking at frames and beams and safety bars, we do keep certain items in stock that are popular. So if you damage a frame or a beam, we typically have a quick replacement or can make it fairly quickly as well. So when working with imported racking, wait times can be 3 months or longer just with the shipping right now and manufacturing. So minimal lead times for imported racking right now, I'd say we're at about 3 to 4 months minimum. And this leads to longer downtimes, right? So, you damage your frame, you have to offload the racking, you have 20 skids on your floor, and it's taking up space and it's reducing efficiency and leading to more downtime, and just makes a whole mess of it. So right now in Canada, the support and services here for pallet racking. Next slide. So consider racking system type and complexity. So warehouse storage systems are becoming larger and more complex. North American Steel offers design and engineering services on multiple styles of systems, including selective racking, double deep, drive-in, pick towers, pushback, pallet flow, and many more. We aim to work with the customer to provide the best storage system based on their individual needs. So you might have some pallets on your floor, you might have a lot of pallets and you don't know what to do with them. We will send someone in or come in and assess and talk to you and see kind of what stuff you're storing, and ultimately try to get the best solution in there for you. Not just shelving or selective pallet racking. There's so much more that can be done. So say, for example, if you have a lot of hand picked parts, like if you're a hardware distributor and you have nuts and bolts and all types of different SKUs, there's a photo here on the right that shows a pick tower. So what this does is takes up way less space in your warehouse. Because we're building up, we're using that height of the warehouse. So it's a much smaller footprint, but you can hold many SKUs in this, rather than spreading out just hand-picked shelving along the whole warehouse floor. So that's definitely a system we've been providing more and more with, warehouse real estate going up and space becoming limited. A pick tower is a great application to get tons of SKUs in there and not take up too big of a footprint in your warehouse. Um, so oftentimes imported racking is limited to selective pallet racking and shelving from what I've seen so far. I haven't seen any integrated systems like this. Maybe someone's working on them somewhere, but I haven't seen it yet. There are only a few major players in Canada in terms of manufacturing and installation. So our installers know our racking and they know our competitors' racking because there's many similarities in putting it together. And it's what the installation crews are used to. So when working with foreign manufacturers, there's always a risk of an installation going south. The drawing might not make sense, it's slowing down the timeline, or components arrive damaged, and then you're waiting 3 or 4 months for new components. And if it happens, it'll take longer to get replacement parts and make for a costly and time-consuming installation process. As Jonathan mentioned as well, it's very important to make sure that everything's OBC compliant or building code compliant wherever you're located, to pass the permit and to get your permits and pass the inspection ultimately.